welcome back to another video. So in today's video I'm basically going to be doing like a tour of my fish room, doing like updates on pretty much all the fish that I have, and also showing a decent amount of actually new fish. So obviously we'll start here with the 40 gallon. In here I've got lots of different fish. I've got, I think the other day I counted a total of 45 individual fish in here. So there's now 3 angelfish. There's Lemon, the angelfish I've had for a while. This is a gold pearl scale veiltail angelfish. And then there's that one and this one here that are new. There's 2 clown loaches. There's 4 common bristlenoses, a kissing gourami that I don't think I've shown yet. There's a bunch of leopard danios. There's some long fin, some short fin. There's 6 corridoras. I'm now down to 1 neon tetra in here. At some point we left for, I think it was like 2-3 days, and right when we left I had 5 neon tetras. When we came back I had 2, and then maybe a few days after we got back I lost another one. So yeah, that's a bit of a bummer, but the one that I have that's back there still doing great. Something else that I think is, well, no, so one other thing I want to show you, up here I also have a little archer fish that I've had for quite a while, and it's also still doing fine. But something else pretty exciting in here, I've now got 10 small goldfish, and these are actually offspring from the 6 bigger ones that I have outside. So I've got 10 of them in here, and then there's a bunch more in the 15 gallon, which I'll show you in a few minutes. But yeah, anyway, that's just about all the fish that are in the 40 gallon. There's also quite a few coolie loaches. If you look closely in there, like the little eel-like things with stripes. I have 9 of the striped ones and 1 silver coolie loach, which the body shape and everything, they look pretty similar, but they are actually different species of fish. So yeah, that's most of what's in the 40 gallon. One other pretty exciting thing, actually, I don't know how well I'll be able to show this. If we go in here, if you look really closely, of course it doesn't want to show up easily, but if you look really closely, there's a male bristlenose in there, and it's actually fanning eggs. There, you can kind of see them. They're like yellow balls, basically. But yeah, that was a spawn that happened just earlier today. And this is actually the 4th or 5th spawn that I've gotten at this point. I just haven't talked about it in any of my videos yet. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I actually got a video of like spawning behavior last night, but I didn't get any eggs until at some point this afternoon. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Over here we have, oh, come on, focus. Over here we have kind of a bit of a mess of a tank. There's a lot of different fish in here, but I have several crebensis, that are growing out. I have a whole bunch of baby bristlenoses. And actually, if you look closely, right there on the cave, there's a common bristlenose, and then right behind it, there's actually a little albino that I got from these guys. They've spawned once so far. But yeah, that's pretty cool. And I've also got several goldfish. This is one of them. Pretty nice color on that one, but there's also several that are like a little bit more dull, like bronze color. And they're all just hanging out in here, growing a bit more. Yeah, they're all doing great. I do also have 2 good-sized bristlenoses in here. That's the female. I also have a male, and yeah, there's the male sitting on the sponge filter. I'm hoping that they'll actually breed in here a bit, but so far they haven't. But yeah, anyway, that's that tank. Nothing super special, but it's a pretty fun tank to watch. Here, this tank, the cube tank, right now has 2 different types of fish in it. It has my very small colony of albino bristlenose plecas. This is one of the females. There's 2 females and 2 males. I've gotten 1 spawn out of them, like I mentioned here. I think I got about 33 or so fry, which is a pretty small spawn, but that's just the way it is when they start, and then as they get bigger and more experienced, they'll have bigger and bigger spawns. So yeah, there's the albino bristlenoses, and then there's also my colony of blonde guppies. So these are, I've explained these in a different video, but these are basically like, they're normal guppies, but like where a normal guppy would be like a brownish grayish color, these guys have a really nice like yellow gold color. Yeah, so I really like them. I don't have a very big colony, but I do have a decent amount of fry growing out in here. So yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much that tank. And also, before you might be thinking, where are all the other guppies? I do not have them in my room anymore. I have now moved them all outside into one of my massive IBC tanks, and they are breeding like crazy and doing amazing out there. That's also where I have my red wagtail platies that I've had for quite a while now, and they've also had quite a few fry up there. So down here, this is actually a really exciting tank. So in here I have some not really new fish, and some other somewhat new but really cool fish. So in here I have a total of 5 crebensis. There's a big male hanging out in the cave there, and then there's 4 smaller juveniles. That's one of them there. I also have some offspring from the leopard danios that are now in the 40-gallon. These were actually from the quarantine tank. I'm lazy when it comes to taking down quarantine tanks, and I'll leave them up for like a week longer or something, even after the fish are taken out. And as I was taking down the tank, I found some really tiny fish, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. So now they're growing out in here, and they're doing really well. There's some long fin, there's some short fin, just like the 40-gallon. There's also 6 rainbow fish that I caught at my local river, and they're doing really well. They're still pretty small, so they'll get quite a bit bigger than this. And then the last fish in here, I think, is really exciting. You've probably seen them here and there. I only have 5, but I did manage to get 5 African Neolamprologus multifasciatus, aka the multi-shelled liller. Now these guys are pretty rare. I have barely seen them for sale anywhere. I have seen them. My local fish store, A1 Aquarium World, has had them a few times, and of course the one time that I went and actually was going to get them, they had sold out of them like 2 or 3 weeks earlier, which was a bit frustrating. But so anyway, I actually ordered these 5 guys online, and they came in a little styrofoam box. They came from Brisbane to Townsville. So if you live in Australia, I know for sure that you at least know where Brisbane is, and probably also Townsville. But yeah, anyway, they're super cool. They're still all juvenile, so I haven't gotten any breeding yet, but I very much plan on breeding them and trying to get them out to some more people, make them a little bit more common, because they're super cool fish. And they're also one of the most expensive fish that I have. I paid $115 for 5 of these guys, plus like $20-ish shipping. So yeah, it was pretty exciting getting a phone call from my mom saying they're here. So I ran and went to get them. And like I said, they all came just fine. I've had them for several weeks now. But yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much my whole fish. No, wait. I have a few other things to show. First of all, in here, I won't be able to show them because they're so tiny and I have such a pain finding them. But there are, I think, 3 baby filament barbs. Now, if you don't know what filament barbs are, I now have a total of 4. I got 1 at first, or I should say technically my sister got 1, and then more recently, like 2 weeks ago now, I got 3 more to add to the 1, since they are schooling fish. And after I took them out of quarantine, I looked really closely, and I noticed that there was 1 little fish. And then I noticed that there were 2 little fish. And in the end, it turned out that there were 3. There may or may not be a few more eggs in here that might like hatch out or something like that. But yeah, so that's pretty cool. And then over here I have some other pretty cool new fish in quarantine. I've got 2 more angelfish. There's a panda pearl scale. Of course it doesn't want to focus here. And a blue sapphire angelfish. So they're pretty cool. And then I also got my first 5, of course it doesn't want to focus now either, my first 5 swordtails. So there's 2 males in here and 3 females. The males are ones with a nice sword on the tail, and the females just don't have that sword. One of them has like almost a little bit of one, but it's nowhere near as big as the males. So yeah, that's pretty cool too, and I will not be surprised if I actually end up with a few fry in quarantine, because some of these females are looking pretty full of fry. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Let me know if there's like any other fish that you think I should get to add to any of these tanks at some point. I I do hope to get some slightly more rare bristlenose plecos at some point. But at this point, I need to take a bit of a break from buying fish. But yeah. So yeah, thanks for watching. And if you haven't already, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.